So today, recording this, yesterday was my 3 year sober anniversary, which has me really, really in my feelings a lot this year, really, really emotional. Yesterday was also Dylan's 18th birthday. So Dylan, my daughter with special needs, she has Down syndrome, she has autism. If you've been following along online, we have been really, really deep for about 6 weeks now involved in this intense process to um, retain legal guardianship. You guys, I'm so emotional today, and I'm honoring it, and I want to just kind of move through it real time because I realize that it kind of lends itself to a topic of what we can talk about today. And part of that is just what are the things that we do in sobriety? What are the things that I do when life feels really lifey? And we've chosen this path now where we don't numb. We don't numb with alcohol, at least. We don't numb with alcohol. We don't escape anymore with alcohol and drugs. We don't try to avoid the things that feel heavy and feel hard or just feel intense, right? Because a lot of what I've been feeling the last couple days is not necessarily even heavy, bad, right? It's just been emotional. Hitting 3 years sober it's emotional, you guys, because I never thought I could get here for so long. I spent longer than this trying to get sober. It took me 4 years of trying. And even before that 4 years, there was probably honestly another 4 years where I knew my drinking was becoming a problem when I was sliding down that slippery slope of drinking more and more, making excuses for it, justifying it, but still just ignoring it, still just trying to believe that I was in control, just being arrogant, being in this arrogant headspace that a lot of us get in with alcohol when we just think that we know better, right? Think that we know better than alcohol. And so spending 4 years like that, then spending 4 years knowing that I had a problem and trying to do various things about it, right? This is when I bought a lot of books. This is when I first, I think, started following people on sober Instagram and would come and go with that, right? When I was feeling like being honest with myself and feeling vulnerable, I would follow people and then I would unfollow or mute when I just didn't want to face it anymore, when it was too scary, when it was too real, when again, I would get arrogant and think like, no, but this isn't that bad. It's not that bad. It could be worse. My list of justifications was, right, like I'm a good mom, I'm a good wife, I'm a successful woman, we have it all together, right? You guys have heard my story. So all this to say, I think just all of this this week, meaning my 3 year sober anniversary, Dylan turning 18, even just some of the things going on in the world right now, like being a human is hard. Being a human is really, really hard some days. And some days it's amazing, right? Most days it's amazing. A lot of the time it's amazing, but sometimes it's really hard. And so this morning, as I was getting ready for this, I realized, like, you know what? This is just an opportunity to kind of be real and share, like, what do we do? What do we do in these moments? What tools? How do we show up when it feels like we're not sure how to show up or what to do? And sobriety has given me the chance to really hone in and solidify the habits that have become my non-negotiables, because they are the things that keep me sober and they are the things that keep me sane. And there are some days that I feel like that's all I have. All I have is trying to stay sober and trying to stay sane and the things that I do to make that happen. So I thought I would just share that this morning in the hopes that it helps somebody maybe. Um, and this is no particular order, but I actually might just kind of go through my morning routine because it is one of the few things in life that I can control to varying degrees, right? And if you have kids, you'll get that, because when I say to varying degrees, it's because, well, 99% of the time from the second I wake up in the morning, Dylan is also awake. And even though she's 18, she's basically a toddler. So my life as a caregiver, as a 24/7 caregiver, is that I'm always at the mercy of her needs most of the time before my own. But so what I've done is try to create a routine that serves me, meaning helps me stay sober, helps me stay sane, but can be adaptable to the realities of my life, which is being a special needs mom and having to pretty much put somebody else's needs above my own 24/7. So the last couple mornings this week, I have been setting my alarm to actually try to roll out of bed before she does. I sleep with her most nights. If you've heard our story, you know that she doesn't, it's just one of the things about Down syndrome and autism, and her specifically, she doesn't sleep. She won't sleep alone. And for whatever reason, the last few months, especially, she has been really resisting letting my husband sleep with her at night at all, which is just bizarre because obviously we've been at this for 18 years, but for whatever, we're going through a phase where she wants me more than him. If I don't sleep with her all night, I go in with her usually starting around 1 or 2 a.m. So we wake up together. We, meaning Dylan and I, wake up together most mornings. In the last 2 days, I've actually set an alarm to get up earlier just because I have wanted and needed, like my soul has needed an earlier start time for my morning quiet time. Because, like I said, it is the stuff that helps me anchor my sobriety and just anchor my sanity. And I refuse to budge on it. Like I said, it's adaptable in terms of how long I do this, what it looks like every morning. But my morning routine, it is a non-negotiable because it's just essential for me to be able to function. So what this looks like when we get up, first thing I do is start coffee, get my coffee going. Then while my coffee is brewing, I do a couple other things. I drink a big glass of water. Sometimes it's just water. Sometimes if I have the wherewithal and the headspace, it'll be warm water with a lemon. Some days it's only 6 ounces. Some days it's 10 ounces. It's just whatever. I make myself do it while my coffee's brewing because I know it's good for me. And part of that right there, that sentiment is part of a morning routine that gets some people so hung up is, oh, but I don't feel like it or I don't have time. And you guys, it's just we get to this point in life where it's like, if you want to be a successful adult, if you want to have certain things like characteristics, if you want to have certain qualities about your life, if I want to be a sober person, if I want to be as calm and capable and peaceful most of the time, then there are things that will get me there. As silly as it sounds, drinking a glass of water in the morning is one of those things. And so I do it. It doesn't matter if I feel like it or not. I just do it. So much of these habits that are required to get us where we want to be, meaning get us to the feeling place that we want to exist in life, and especially in sobriety, we gotta just fucking stop making excuses. And I'm saying that way, this way, you guys, because I just want to be real and human with you, because this is what I said to myself. This is the pep talk I gave myself, many times in the last 3 years. It's like, we just stop making excuses. You know what the things are that are going to help you feel the way you want to feel. Just fucking do them. That's just it. There's no actual magical bullet besides that. So in the morning, no matter how tired I am, no matter how angry Dylan is some mornings, because sometimes she wakes up and I could go down into the spiral I used to go into about how unfair it is that I have a disabled daughter, all the things that I could be doing or could be happening in my life if I didn't have a disabled daughter, the better sleep I'd be getting, all of this. I could do that, but I did that for years and it got me nowhere. It ran me into the ground. So what I do instead now is I get up, I start thanking God first thing, and I make coffee and I drink water because it's going to help me be healthier. And I want to be healthy for as long as possible. So I drink my water while I'm walking around my house and filling up diffusers, our essential oil diffusers. We've used essential oils since Dylan was about 3 months old. They became a absolute life-saving grace when she was a baby and was really, really sick physically. We started using them a lot for that, and then quickly realized all the ways that they could help us emotionally. And I've used them ever since. You guys saw me when we just started. If I could show you my desk here, it's and I'm dropping them. You guys, I can't count how many times a day I use these, and I use them. We use them for our physical health, but also our emotional health. So I fill up our diffusers. I get aroma going in the house that helps me calm down, helps me focus, helps me get grounded into gratitude, uplifting, whatever. A lot of times it's the same because I like routine. I like consistency. Again, this is the stuff I can control. It helps me feel in control, which helps me feel more at ease with the world. So I'm drinking my water, I'm filling up my diffusers while my coffee is brewing. Turn on some soft lighting in the living room. I turn on whatever soundtrack for the day I want to start my day, we'll call it. And for me, this is when I turn on YouTube and find just ridiculous but soothing videos, usually of fireplaces and soft piano music that changes with the scenery. Sometimes in the summer, it's summer right now, I'm already watching like their videos of beautiful porches with an outdoor fireplace and autumn leaves in the background. What if you could finally break free from the constant cycle of drinking, quitting, bargaining with yourself, and actually build a life that feels calm and clear and deeply aligned with who you want to be? I created the alcohol-free blueprint for women who are ready to stop trying to moderate and start feeling confident and steady and fully present in their life again. This program isn't just about quitting drinking. It's about taking back your energy and your mindset and your wellness and your freedom. Inside the blueprint, I'll walk you step by step through the tools, mindset shifts, and support systems that actually help you change for good. You'll learn how to handle cravings, rebuild your habits, feel stronger in your body, and navigate all of life's ups and downs without alcohol. And you'll have full access to over 45 video lessons, journaling prompts, live coaching, and community support. So you never have to do this alone. One of my clients, let's call her Sarah, came to me after years of trying to control her drinking. She told me, I finally feel free. I'm not constantly thinking about drinking anymore. I have energy again, and I actually like myself. And that's just the kind of change we're after. Most of my clients are excited to no longer be a drinker after just 30 days inside the blueprint. If you're ready to stop spinning your wheels and start living the life alcohol has been holding you back from, head to the link in the show notes or go find me over on Instagram. I would love to help you take this next step. And then I get out my gratitude journal and my devotional books. And usually by the time I've done all this, which really only takes about 5 minutes, everything I just talked through is like a 5-minute process, you guys. My coffee is done. I grab my coffee and I sit down on the couch for my devotional and gratitude time. Now, on a good day, honestly, I get to spend 20 to 30 minutes doing this. On a not so good day, meaning it's just if we have crazy running around for the kids. My youngest daughter, even though we homeschool, she goes to the high school for band. And so that schedule changes every day. Again, just always Dylan, which Dylan is the equivalent of those of you that might still have small kids or even just a job to get to, right? Like if you are on a time crunch, if there's people interrupting you, like I said, sometimes I only get 5 minutes to sit down on the couch. And so maybe I don't actually write in my gratitude journal that day. It might just be more internal. I might just sometimes it's even just 30 seconds and just think to myself, like, today, God, I am so grateful for whatever. And I list stuff. You guys, honestly, sometimes this gratitude practice is the most simple, basic things because that's all I can muster. So it might be like, I'm grateful for my coffee. I'm grateful for YouTube so I can watch my cheesy, relaxing videos. I'm grateful for my phone. I'm grateful for my sobriety. I'm grateful for my family. And then other days, if I can write it out or I have time, it gets deeper, right? I really can go into specifically being grateful for specific people, things happening in my life, things that I want to happen in my life. And then I'm also doing my devotionals. Now, for years before I came back to God, my devotionals were just more affirmations. So whatever speaks to you, I am a firm believer that I don't honestly really care what you call your higher power. If it's God, if it's the universe, if it's source, if it's Mother Earth, if it's angels, it doesn't matter to me. But I know from experience, and science has shown us in a million different ways, that tapping into gratitude and tapping into some sort of communion, connection with higher power than yourself is so essential for physical and mental well-being. And so I am such a firm believer that making this a part of how you start your day is one of the best things we can do to stay as emotionally stable and grounded as possible. And so, like I said, for years before I came back to God, this is when it was a gratitude practice and it was affirmations of how I wanted to feel, how I could turn around maybe what was going on in my life to what I wanted to be going on, right? Like, I am peaceful regardless of what's going on around me. I cannot control what's happening outside of me. I can only control what's happening within me. Things like that. And now I have come back to a God of my understanding, higher power of my understanding. And so I do spend time in devotionals, thanking God, communicating with God, reading his word, just drawing inspiration and support from all of the wise people that have gone before me and all of the wise people in the world out there right now that certainly know more than I do. So I spend time in that. Like I said, on a good day, on an ideal day, I get to spend 20 to 30 minutes doing this. Now, during that 20 to 30 minutes, I might be interrupted by Dylan like 17 times. She comes out needing food, just wanting something. So I don't at all want to paint a picture of this like big, beautiful, glorious, I have this luxurious 1 hour to myself, because that's not it, you guys. I'm doing this as I'm parenting. I'm doing this as my other daughter is waking up and talking to me and reminding me what's coming up for the day. And so it might be 30 seconds at a time. And some days it really is only 5 minutes. So then I cut it down to the most important things, right? I might read 1 or 2 devotionals that are my go-to. Instead of reading things, that might be a day that I find something in an app that I can listen to in the car or listen to on a walk. The whole point of this is that choosing how we start the day sets the tone for how we show up the entire rest of the day. Because it's honored a need and a belief that my time is just as valuable as my family's time. I spent years being a martyr, and I spent years running myself into the ground, believing that I had to sacrifice all of my own needs for the sake of the people I love the most. And that's not, you can't live that way forever. I can't take care of people if I'm not also taking care of myself. You can't pour from an empty cup, right? Like there's all these cliches, but they're not cliche because they're true. And I didn't realize that until I became an alcoholic. It was like, maybe sacrificing all of my needs for everybody else isn't the smartest thing in the world. Having these routines that anchor me, that give me a chance to take care of myself, are what then allows me to show up for everything and everybody else that I have to do all day long, every day, forever and ever, hopefully, for as long as possible, hopefully. And circling back to the beginning where this all started today, I'm always so acutely reminded of how important these practices are, these grounding practices, whatever your routine is, whatever helps you start your day feeling calm, feeling intentional, feeling peaceful, connecting into whatever bigger all-knowing thing outside of you that you connect into. That is what sustains us when life gets just really fucking crazy, which it can happen anytime, right? We don't know this. And even when it is stuff we do know, and even when it is good stuff, like I was saying, right? Like this week's been a really emotional week and not all bad. Obviously, I've known that my 3-year sober anniversary was coming for quite a while now, but it has become really emotional for me in the last couple of days, just really, really reflecting and connecting with people. And just even yesterday, the messages and the sentiments and everything, it overwhelmed me. Now it's good, but it's overwhelming. And combine that with other things going on in our household, with Dylan turning 18, the gravity of what that means, mostly good, but also still heavy and hard. And then you combine that with all of the stuff in the bigger outside world that I have no control over, but at any moment can feel scary and hard and heavy. It absolutely, it's a reality check, and it is a stark reminder of why taking the time when life feels easy and we feel good most of the time to solidify these habits, whatever exactly your habits look like, but taking the time to cultivate them and curate them and making them a part of who you are, is so that when life feels like this, when life feels heavy and scary and just emotional, you have something to turn to. Like, I know this morning I was going to do the same thing that I always do, and it was going to maybe save me a little bit more today than it does on an easier day. And it's going to be something that anchors me and helps me just kind of gain perspective and be extra grateful, but also just feel as resilient, if it's even possible. But just this all is also just born of like this is why we talk so much about like tools and habits and cultivating these things throughout our sober journey, because we never really stop. We never really stop needing tools and needing strategies. And it's not because we're weak, or it's not because it's like, oh my God, but am I going to have to work at this forever? It's like, no, this is just what makes us calm, resilient humans. This is what makes us able to show up for this human existence, the good, the bad, and the ugly, day after day after day, without letting it completely wreck us and without letting it cause us to go running back to alcohol, right? Like, if anything's going to make it come full circle, that's it. That's what I'm saying. It's like, I do these things and I'm happy to do these things because these are the things, these routines, these habits. This is what keeps me sober. This is what makes it possible for me to continue to live life as a woman who does not want to escape or numb through alcohol or drugs. And that's the point of all of it. And then there's extra bonuses, right? Like the example I'm modeling for my children, teaching my girls how to grow into women that can handle life without needing to turn to alcohol, hopefully saving them from the excruciating 30-year arc of alcohol bullshit that I had to go through. And think about the lasting effect of that, right? So it might seem silly, like, oh, really? Is it that big of a deal to drink water in the morning and do a gratitude practice and pray or affirmations? It's like, well, yeah, it actually is. If you want your life to feel a certain way, you've got to do the things that are going to make it feel that way. Like it's just how it goes. And I don't at all want to sound like this is at all like I'm admonishing people, right? I know I said in the beginning, like I'm going to be a little bit more like unfiltered and real today because that's just where I'm at. But I know that sometimes I feel like that's what helps things land. And when it sounds like I'm getting a little maybe like preachy, you guys, this, when I sound like that is what my voice has been like in my head when I was telling myself these things and I needed to hear them, right? When I, for years, was being like, Shannon, stop expecting results from shit you're not doing. You can't expect to be a calm, confident, capable woman if you are drinking every night and waking up feeling like shit, scrambling to remember how the night ended and reacting to the world as soon as you open your eyes in the morning. And then even once I quit drinking, it's like Shannon, you can't just expect to be happily sober just because you quit drinking. That's not how it goes. What are you going to do to build it? What are you going to do to create it? What are you going to do to plant the seeds in the garden that you want to be your beautiful sober life, and then wait for them to grow and to pop up? And so when I sound really fired up, but also maybe exasperated, it's just because I'm just remembering these are the pep talks I've been giving myself for a really long time, and trying to share that and trying to convey that and trying to hopefully help you guys see that it's worth taking the time to figure out what these routines are that buoy us and sustain us and lift us up and help us just get through. Some days we still might feel like all we're doing is getting through, but then on the good days, we feel so much more than that. We feel like I can handle whatever comes. And even on the hard days, even when life does get really heavy and scary and the world throws shit at us that we just don't even know, like, how we can't make sense of it, I still know I can get through it. And I know that because I've gotten through a lot of stuff already by this point in my life, but because I have these practices, because I have routines and consistencies that protect my heart and protect my head. And for me, that's gratitude and God. And for you, it might look a little bit different, but that is how we continue to show up and build our life the way we want it to feel. Even when uncontrollable, chaotic things happen, we still have there's still a little bit of control that we can exercise. And a lot of times it comes from these routines that have become habit, that have become part of who we are and give us what we need most in moments, which might be like grace and patience and faith and forgiveness and just trust that it's all going to be okay regardless, right? Trust that we can do it, that we can handle it because we've handled things before. We'll handle this too. So I'm going to wrap that up there. Thank you. I would just love to hear if this landed for you. If you have any questions, you guys know the comments are always open. Drop something in there and we'll keep chatting. But otherwise, I'll be back soon. I'll talk to you guys soon. Bye.